Welcome viewers, you are watching the Sabeda Morning Bulletin with Shudha. Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi and his Italian counterpart Meloni addressed a joint press conference in Rome on Wednesday, during which the Italian leader noted that the two nations are now closer than they have ever been in history. In a delightful display of cross-border, Prime Minister Narendra Modi was seen offering a packet of iconic Indian Pearly Melody chocolates to Italian Prime Minister Meloni during their meeting in Rome. Pakistan's Interior Minister Naqvi traveled to Tehran on Wednesday for talks with senior Iranian officials as Islamabad continued diplomatic efforts aimed at easing tensions between the United States and Iran amid fears of renewed conflict in the region. In an X post, the U.S. Central Command stated that a U.S. Marine Corps AH-1Z Viper attack helicopter patrols near a commercial vessel transiting regional waters as American forces enforce the maritime blockade against Iran. A South Korean oil tanker safely traveled through the Strait of Hormuz, the country's FM said on Wednesday, marking the first passage by a South Korean vessel since the Iran war began. The IRGC cautioned that renewed attacks on Iran could escalate warfare beyond the region. They claimed not to have fully utilized their capabilities against the US and Israel, threatening unexpected, crushing blows to adversaries. The US seized the tanker Skywave linked to Iran in the Indian Ocean amid military strike threats from President Trump. Chinese President Xi Jinping urged an immediate end to hostilities in West Asia during talks with Russian President Putin, highlighting the critical Gulf situation. US President Donald Trump stated that Iran desires a deal so badly and claimed the ongoing conflict would conclude very quickly. He predicted a sharp decline in oil prices, attributing it to an abundant supply, asserting that prices would plummet due to the surplus of oil available. The US Senate passed a resolution limiting President Trump's war powers in Iran with a 50-47 vote. 4 Republicans supported the measures introduced by Senator Tim Kaine, which requires the president to withdraw armed forces from hostilities against Iran without explicit authorization for war or military action. US Vice President J.D. Vance stated that Iran desires a deal with the US, acknowledging that nuclear weapon development is a key concern for Washington. He emphasized that the clarity of negotiations will depend on a formal agreement and affirmed that the US is negotiating sincerely, awaiting Iran's response. Chief Minister Devendra Fadnavis on Wednesday said that Maharashtra is ready to lead the transition in the nuclear energy sector and appealed to American companies to invest in the state. Maharashtra NCP SP President on Wednesday firmly squashed the rumors of reconciliation and the merger with the Ajit Pawar-led NCP faction. In a nationwide crackdown on cyber fraud enabling infrastructure, Hyderabad police targeted the host SIM network under Operation Octopus 3.0 and arrested 66 persons in 13 states. Thailand has ended its 60-day visa-free entry policy for citizens of 90 countries, tightening short-stay travel rules. The move is expected to impact tourism and requires travelers to follow revised visa procedures for entry. India is accelerating offshore oil and gas exploration in the Mahanadi and Andaman basins as rising crude prices and energy security concerns push the country to reduce import dependence through fresh deep water discoveries. The RBI is burning roughly $1 billion daily to defend the rupee, but high oil prices and surging US continue to drag the currency to record lows near 97. Singapore's Deputy Prime Minister Gan Kim Yong pressed financial institutions to prioritize worker upskilling and job creation over cost cutting during his address at the devious leaders' dialogue. Fuel prices across the country witnessed a sharp increase as petrol and diesel rates were hiked by an average of 90 paise per litre. Indian cricketer Mohammad Shami has been acquitted by the Alipur court in a check bounce case filed by his estranged wife Haseen Jahan. Indian under-19 men's team to tour Sri Lanka for 3 one-days, 2 4-day matches in July. Nabi should have gotten a chance to be in squad for test against Afghanistan, says Raina. WhatsApp reportedly working on newborn after reading messages that vanished within hours of being opened.